The announcement is out and it's a big one. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video, so let's get right into it. First off, let's quickly talk about a new announcement out of the president a little bit earlier today. President Biden was out announcing that we are going to be sending another $1.2 billion worth of equipment over to Ukraine. Now, this brings the total tally up to $56 billion that the United States has supplied to Ukraine with cash and equipment. Who knows where this final tally is going to end up at some point. A lot of people out there right now are also saying the same thing, which is it's really nice to have our other countries, but at the same time, what about the American people? Now let's quickly talk about another report that was released today as well. This is the retail sales number. The report will give us a broad perspective as far as what is going on all around the country with the American people, the consumers, and what is really going on with the economy. Also, everything is highly correlated. Some of those reports give us key indicators into what may be coming. Therefore, this retail sales number was out. What does this number actually represent? It shows that last month, retail sales and retail spending were down 0.3 to 1%, down to $672.9 billion last month. Still a lot of money, right? But either way, it's still down 0.3%. That's not necessarily a good sign. What it's showing is that people are starting to contract. People are not going out spending as much money on things in stores and restaurants and all kinds of things like that simply because there's probably not a whole lot of money to spend right now. As a result, people are kind of pulling back a little bit right now. We are probably going to continue to see this number contract as the months further off ahead. Next, another report came out, and this is another one of these that comes out on a monthly basis. This is showing foreclosures and filings for foreclosures and delinquencies. Again, another interesting report that we need to watch closely, because if we start to see an uptick in delinquencies, late payments, foreclosures, and all kinds of things like this, what does that tell us? Well, simply tell us that once again, people don't have the money to pay the mortgage right now. Unfortunately, it's a really sad situation. All of a sudden, their homes are being foreclosed upon sad situation. Anyway, this report is showing that last month alone over last year at the same amount of time, foreclosures are up 185% to just under 31,000 foreclosures that were posted at last month. Nobody should have to lose their home that way. Let's quickly talk about the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was out today wrapping up their two-day meeting and giving us an idea of what's going on with interest rates. Well, it's a big one. Here's what they decided. They are raising interest rates by 75 basis points or 0.75%. Right now, this is the biggest raise that they've had since 1994. This is the last time that they had a raise of this intensity at this much. The fact of the matter is, the Federal Reserve is putting the pedal to the metal right now. They are stepping on the gas. And the whole idea behind this is to raise interest rates and ultimately kind of tamp down some of this inflation going forward. And when the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, was out in his press briefing, when he comes out and talks, he indicated they may be open to another 75 basis points hike again in July when they come back to meet in 6 weeks from now. They are jacking up the rates faster. And the whole idea behind this is to get ahead of inflation, to lower this inflation, and hopefully kind of bring prices down. But for anybody that has any type of loans, a home equity lines of credits, credit card balances, any of these short-term loans or financial products, and adjustable rate mortgage and ARM that are not having a fixed rate. Unfortunately, these rates are going to be increased a lot going forward. Again, it's costing more to borrow money. That's kind of the unfortunate part about this. So on one hand, yes, the efforts are to actually lower inflation, but at the end of the day, all they are doing is just making us pay more for any balances that we may be carrying. If you have any balances, if you have any extra money that you can put toward these balances to try to pay them down before the next potential 75 basis point rate hike comes in about 6 weeks from now. This is a really bad situation because the whole effort behind this is to actually lower inflation. It's not hurting higher income people. They're still paying more, but at the end of the day, they can probably afford it. Who this is really hurting right now is the low income, fixed income. Realistically, people that don't have a lot of extra money right now and who have loans and outstanding balances on things. But apparently, this is their effort to try to get ahead of all this inflation. And we will see, but according to what everybody is saying, right now they are not moving aggressive enough. So this is probably just going to prolong the inevitable, which is higher inflation for longer.